Welcome back. It's a complicated issue. Pursuing drug cases. What's nonviolent? What's worthy of time and effort to get a conviction? Joining us now is Bill Bodner, Special Agent in charge of the DEA here in Los Angeles. First off, Bill, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
What's the latest with Project Safeguard, that DNA initiative aimed at prioritizing drug cases with connections to violent crime, which again is kind of critical these days?
Yeah, in essence, what we're doing is we're trying to safeguard the quality of life in our communities. There has been an increase, a spike in violent crimes in the region lately, and we felt we had to make a concerted effort to push back against that. So to that end, and you mentioned it, we're prioritizing those investigations with the most direct links to violence and to victimization. And what this could look like on the streets of LA is perhaps targeting a street gang in South LA who's dealing drugs, but also involved in a violent turf dispute with another gang where there's assaults and shootings. It could be targeting someone selling fentanyl in the valley, and the fentanyl they have sold has resulted in overdose deaths. To us, that's a violent crime. And then the thing we're going to continue to do is reduce the amount of methamphetamine on our streets to lessen the impact it has on those in our community who are homeless and challenged with mental health or addiction issues. Methamphetamine exacerbates those issues, and there's unfortunately groups of dealers out there who specifically target the homeless as a customer base.
Is it difficult to draw that line? Because there is a movement to, I don't want to say decriminalize drug use, but at least it's certainly a conversation. And sometimes it's that gray area where when and how something becomes violent.
Yeah, and I think, we try to prioritize on the most the things that are the greatest threat to our community. And the bottom line is we're trying to get the public to understand that drug trafficking is not a victimless crime. The violence and victimization associated with drug trafficking kind of permeate throughout our society, whether we see it in property crimes, in sex crimes, or in violent crimes. Drugs and drug sales are often a catalyst for these type of crimes. So we're prioritizing the greatest threats and kind of not worrying so much about the things that really aren't threatening our community from a violence point of view.
Let's talk about Costa Mesa. What's going on there? Undercover jail operation?
Yeah, so we had a situation where fentanyl pills or fentanyl was sold to people and it caused overdose deaths. And like I just mentioned, we look at that as a violent crime. If someone is selling a drug they know to be dangerous, they're victimizing people. They're victimizing the people that are taking that drug and dying from overdoses. So we made arrests in a case, and we did some undercover work in the jail with some of our young special agents to try to collect the evidence and build the case on the people. And this is the kind of thing we're doing to try to get those people who are the most dangerous off the streets.
You mentioned the homeless population a moment ago. Let's talk a little bit about a joint task force, it sounds like, working on people who are actually preying on the homeless. You apparently were working with CHP, LAPD?
Yeah, so last year, our homeless population in LA grew, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 15%. So one of the things we're doing is working with LAPD, and we're specifically targeting those people from outside the communities. So this is drug dealers from outside these homeless communities who are coming into the homeless communities. They're victimizing people, they're exploiting people, they're preying upon addiction. And we're trying to target those people and specifically make an effort to get them off the streets. Just to give you an example, in October, working with CHP and LAPD, we made a vehicle stop on a subject of investigation and seized 10,000 fentanyl pills that would have been sold on the streets of downtown LA, probably in the Skid Row area. Now, these pills are one of the major contributing factors to overdose deaths in our city right now. And these are the kind of things we need to get off the street. Also, back in September, a similar circumstance, a different drug dealer bringing methamphetamine to the downtown area, 25 pounds. I mean, this is thousands and thousands of doses of methamphetamine that we were able to take off the street that would have ended up in part in those homeless camps in downtown LA.
Okay, Bill, thanks much. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon. Bill Bodner, Special Agent in charge of DEA here in LA. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Phil.